The weekly Armchair Kickoff is rebranding and expanding. We are now the weekly Armchair Sports Talk. It's going to be your home for sports content for the fans and by the fans. More sports, more guests and more talk, covering all aspects of football, WWE, basketball, MMA and much, much more. That's the weekly Armchair Sports Talk, coming soon.
Welcome back, everyone, to the weekly Armchair Sports Talk podcast. Today, this is our MMA special here today, exclusive interview with John Mitchell of MTK MMA. So today, I'm in collaboration with Against the Fence YouTube channel, and today we're here to talk all things MMA. So as we are here, and we are here with John here today, we're going to talk to him about his career, his most recent move, and also we're going to talk about UFC 264 as well. So John, we spoke last August. You're recently after signing for Cage Warriors. You had a fight against Alex Brykalski and a very, very dominant win. Since then, John, lots happened. You've recently moved to Dubai from Cork. Talk to us how that materialized and kind of how you're getting on over there.
Yes, so basically I was supposed to fight in November and I hurt my knee. So and I was done college and stuff like that, and I knew I was kind of at a bit of a standstill. Like I didn't know, I knew I wanted to pursue MMA full time. I knew that for a very long time before I finished college. But like just that knee was a catalyst then for me saying I'd go out and travel. Like, so just one of my friends was in Abu Dhabi in this good gym in the Middle East, and I got onto them and they offered me a job. So then when I went over to Abu Dhabi, I had to work in Dubai for a while, and I'd stay in Dubai because of the quarantine period. So then when I was there, I met like some really good guys there, like Munir Aziz, who's my main training partner now, and he's fighting in the UFC in August. And I just fell in love with the place, and I just never came home. I'm still here.
Unreal. And like,
Nice.
it's the fact that like you're out there now, new surroundings, new settings, and like Cork, like Dubai is a lot different to Ireland. Like weather, facilities, like it's first class. You've recently signed with MTK MMA as well. We recently got there. You recently fought out in Abu Dhabi at the moment. You fought against RB Iminef. Watch the fight. Absolute dominant performance. Absolutely mauled him. How do you feel about that fight? You know, your preparation kind of coming into it. You recently sparred, obviously, Conor McGregor coming into that fight as well as part of your training camp too. How did that feel? How did all that materialize? Kind of signed with MTK. Obviously, you fought RB Iminef and you won dominant fashion, but then also in tow, sparring an Irish icon in Conor McGregor. Like in all that short space of time, like how did that all feel?
Felt really good, man. But like I was saying to you, I always kind of knew where I was going to be going in the sport, and I still see myself way further than I am now, of course. Like so, I just kind of took it all in my stride. Like one good thing about being out here for me is like Cork is like when you're in Dubai, you've a lot more eyes looking at you, and it's easier to get the spotlight. And especially now that I'm signed to one of the biggest management companies in the world, it's making it even easier for me. And that's how I'm able to get these opportunities to spar guys as big as Conor. And like that last kid I fought, RB, was a glory kickboxer. So you know, these fights would be hard to materialize back home. So it feels good, man. And like none of it happened by accident. You know, like I knew that if I really wanted to get to the upper echelon of the sport, that maybe I would have to make a move so I could focus on training full time. Like, so it feels good. It just feels like it's going to plan. You know, if that doesn't sound too mad.
Yeah, no, it certainly does. And just a quick question, though, of course, about you saying sparring with Conor McGregor, right? So obviously he motivates you, he fires you up, of course, and makes you want to be a better fighter. But what's he like to train with? Yeah, you know, I hear he's quite a character in training. You got any stories like for spending time with him?
No, he's sound, man. He sound like he sound like I'm probably not a good one to go off, like, because I'm well known for being mad as a brush, like, so you know what I mean. I thought it was good.
Sounds like you two get on like a house on fire.
He did, yeah. He was sound, man. It was really good spars. I learned loads off him. He was a really nice guy. So all good, man. Yeah, like it was unreal to see that level as well. You know what I mean? So it was great. But he didn't seem too mad. He was sound.
Yeah, nice. You got some. What did we hear last time about him having sort of nicknames for fighters in the?
Yeah, we've heard that for fighters that he's spent time with in the gym and stuff, he ends up giving them nicknames, you know, like big balls and things like that. Has he given you a nickname at all?
Well, he called me the Big Cork Horsebox. You know what I'm saying? My mum loved that one, like, so.
Nice.
That's a class one. Okay, so far that's our favourite.
and John, just to kind of touch on that as well, like you've obviously you sparred Conor, you sparred like high level stand-up fighters here in Ireland. Obviously, a friend of ours, DeMar, you've been training with him a lot now. Obviously, since you're not in Dubai, you haven't kind of trained with Dylan since, but kind of you look at all these different stand-up fighters. It's kind of when you look at Ireland in general in terms of like MMA, Muay Thai, all these different sports, we do have a lot of high level to a competition over here. And obviously you were in MMA Cork before that. So you've been through kind of all the levels over here. And you know, when you look at kind of the Irish fight scene at the moment, do you see any more kind of promising young fighters coming from here that can definitely get to the stages that yourself and Conor have been getting to?
Oh, there's loads, man. There's loads of guys coming up. That's what's so exciting about Ireland. It's really when you go over here and train, you see like the standard of our amateurs even. Like, you know, those guys fighting up in Clan Wars, like their standard is massive. Like Ireland's really coming up the ranks. Like when I got here, like I'm young, I'm 25, and even my standard compared to people out here was very, very high, you know. So like picking names out of the top of my head, I can't think of any off the bat, like, but I just know from I always follow the amateur events back home, especially the shows I was fighting on myself. And there's huge talent coming up, you know what I mean? And the thing about this sport is, like, all talent aside, it's just whoever sticks with it. If you look at any of the veteran Irish pros in Ireland, it's not the guys that were these standout amateurs, it's the guy that kept going for it, you know what I mean? Like you see that in a lot of ways with guys on Bellator now, like Peter Queally had a massive win there against Patricio Pitbull, and like how long's he in the game? So it's not really who's good, it's who's left. You know what I mean? So hopefully those amateurs keep going, but there's plenty of them if they keep going, you know.
Definitely 100%. Like John, like with relation to like UFC 264, there's a lot of interesting fights, but like the one that's kind of on everyone's lips at the moment is Conor against Poirier. When we last spoke in August, we obviously, that was actually the fight you said you wanted to see. Like 6 months before it happened, you were like matchmaker, you were Sean Shelby. You said in Conor's comeback fight, I'd love to see Conor against Poirier. I remember looking at your Instagram story, back in January. I didn't even know you were in Dubai in the first place. Next time I see that you're at UFC 257. When you look at this fight coming into this weekend, I know the lads want to touch on it as well just in a moment. How are you feeling now? This looks like one of the biggest kind of fights for an Irish fighter in kind of such a long time. It's really for all the marbles on Saturday.
Yeah, how am I feeling about it? Like who do I think is going to win stuff?
Yeah,
what do you mean, is it?
Yeah.
I hopefully now he's made the adjustments and he goes out and smokes some Conor, smokes Poirier. Like I certainly couldn't kick the leg off him when I was trying, like, you know what I mean? So it seems like he has that one down, you know. Like that was the first thing I was trying to do to him, like, and I couldn't. So, you know, it seems like he has that one well sussed, like, and obviously there's more to it than calf kicks and stuff like that. But like he certainly hits hard anyway, like, and you only used to clip you the once. So hopefully he goes out and does it now. Like he hasn't lost 2 in the trot there in a very, very long, or if ever. I think I saw statistics saying the other day. So I'd love to see him do it, man. It'd be massive. It's good for Irish sport in general, like, especially for Irish MMA fighters. Like anytime Conor wins, it's always a massive boost for us in terms of like sponsorship and just eyes on us, you know.
Yeah,
it definitely rallies, especially like you said, mentioned earlier about the up and coming amateurs. You know, especially in Ireland. You know, it's gonna give them that firepower as well that they need to, you know, like you said, keep going.
Yeah.
100%. Like when I was in college, like every time I seemed to always be fighting the same time Conor won, and because like when Conor won and then when I won the next week, it was just twice as big. You know what I mean? So what would this sport, like, if you look how good we do now in general across the world, like what would we do like if Conor was never there before? You know what I mean? Like people don't even know about MMA really. Like even my mom knows who Conor McGregor is, you know, and she doesn't know any other sports players, you know. So that's the thing. Like,
just it's surprising how much it takes for a particular country to get noticed, you know, and Conor effectively done that, you know, for the guys in Ireland, and now you're starting to see it over in countries like Africa as well. You know, there's some absolute killers coming out of Africa, and it's all because of the Francis and Ghana
champions there in the competition,
so
waving the flag for them. No, certainly.
There you go, man. Like that's absolutely huge. Now when that goes back to Africa, I can bring all these guys up. Like I was training with this guy in Abu Dhabi, like Horace Dia, he's from Cameroon, and he was saying like you know, Francis Ngannou, because of him now there's all these IMAF federations popping up, and there's kids getting huge opportunities to do this stuff. Like this is my career now, and I do MMA as a career path. Like if I was 5 years older it was never a career path when I was a teenager, you know, and that's thanks to Conor. So same for those African fighters, like you know, they could look at a guy like Francis Ngannou, who came from particularly nothing. Like his story is absolutely hectic. And now he's look at the wealth he has and how famous he is, you know. So definitely creates that pathway.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the UFC needs to see, of course, more Irish talent. You know, I guess. I mean, do you see yourself stepping into there soon, or anytime soon, or?
If not next year, then the year after that, 100%. You know, I've been calling these things there since the start, like, and I have been wrong. I don't think so. So, you know, if not next year, then the year after that. But like any good thing about fighting is like you don't have to talk, but you just have to go do the thing. Like, so
yeah,
you'll believe it when you see it.
I love it. I love it. Look forward to
Absolutely. 100%. John, one thing we talked about on the last podcast that I want to bring it up again because we it's something that we had a good crack over. We've DeMar on Against the Fence tomorrow night at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
We have to get DeMar in the cage. We have to get DeMar into MMA. We have to get this petition going, John.
100%. You get him out to me. You get out to me to Dubai, and I'll look right after him, and he'd be flying it then. That's the plan. Did I
100%? 100%.
I was going to submit Braikalski in my last fight. I think I did call it early, didn't I? I said I get him out early.
Yeah, I'll have to go back. I'll have to go back and I'll have to watch that podcast. I'll have to go back and watch it in full. I'm going to clip it up because we do always clip up our things in the podcast. I'll clip it up. I'll send on to your prediction. I think you did predict that you finished him early. So your UFC prediction, I'm clipping that up too. And then as soon as that happens,
have it.
Like
you had it here first.
100%.
Amazing.
Guys, you have any more questions for John with relation to this weekend's event? Because obviously, you look at the McGregor fight is obviously the biggest fight on the card, but the card is stacked in itself.
Yeah, no, exactly, 100%. I mean, I'm excited to hear from you a bit more about what you think of UFC 264, like the main away from the main event itself. Like, is there anyone you're excited to see fight this weekend?
And I've just been in my own bubble at the moment. Like, I only know Conor's fighting. Who else is fighting?
I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a main event. So, I think a lot of people are tuning in for that main fight. But we'll be there, obviously, giving full coverage throughout it with the watch long. But on that main, say again.
Who do you think's going to win?
Oh, I was going to ask you the exact same thing for the main. Yeah, I was just about to ask you who takes it. I mean, for me, 1 minute I'm so confident in Poirier doing a job, and then at the same time, it's just like Conor McGregor's got something which you can't quite put your finger on, and that's something I think it could.
I'll be going back and forth. For weeks.
I have been as well.
As of last night, I was like, yeah, I think Conor's going to do it. You know, either first or second round. That left hand put him away or something. But at the moment, it's staying like that.
Yeah, and you got to put it apart as well. You know, if it goes a distance or if it gets a finish, who's gonna do it? But what about you? Who have you got for it? Who do you think is gonna do put who away in the main event?
I think Conor will clip him in the third round.
Conor in 3.
The third as well, lads. The third, yeah, that's it's gonna go. He's fit as fuck, that lad at the moment. He was fit 7 weeks ago when I was sparring him, like, and I can only imagine he's fit now, like. So, you know, I'd say he's made the adjustments, and like what John's good at is he's good at like game planning. You know what I mean? Like, so I'd say they'll have him well dust. I think the boxer always beats the puncher the second time round. That lad is certainly a boxer, you know. So like
that's it. And you said you tested the leg kicks, right? So when I'm watching on the weekend, you know, he's not going to be like getting pieced up on the legs anymore. That's
checking everyone.
You sharpen that part of his game, right?
Yeah, that one's covered. That one's got covered.
John,
I got more confidence now.
John, just finally, just before we wrap up, obviously you said, you know, that you want to go into the UFC and that's the main goal. I'd just like to ask you quickly, do you think since like you've moved to Dubai and you've obviously been in that new setting and you're really enjoying life, do you think yourself that you've evolved consistently as a fighter, that you're every day you're kind of learning stuff? I see you're kind of a head coach in the gym now as well.
Massively, I truly live and breathe the sport now, and like even now at the moment, like as soon as my fight finished, you know, I'm helping Munir Laziz prepare for his UFC fight, and that's a very big fight as well. So like, there's always UFC guys passing through, like, and as well, like my last fight, like that guy was a big Russian, like a really famous name in Chechnya, and like I think the first round was 10-7. Like I didn't even know they could do 10-7s in fights. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Wow, 10-7.
Yeah,
Open up a new
10-7.
scorecard for you.
Yeah. And that's a Russian lad that got out wrestled like that. So I think I'm evolving all the time. Like my plan is just to keep fighting and proving it like I always do. You know what I mean?
And those Russians are supposed to be built different.
Yeah, they're built different over there, man.
They Russians are known to be built quite different. That
Don't know what's in those waters, mate.
No, you don't know. And you mentioned to do that to him.
Water to Cork, so you know.
Yeah.
Us Irish, we're built different. We're absolutely cracked as fuck. So, and John comes from Cork. I know
the Irish are different gravy.
I know from experience playing sport against people from Cork. People from Cork are built differently too. So
yeah,
and that's coming from a tip man, John. You know that yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely mad.
But John, if you had, let's say, a prediction for yourself, let's say, I know you've predicted UFC and stuff like that, but if you had a prediction for, let's say, the next 3 years of your career, where do you think you'd be?
Just in the UFC, hammering lads. Like that's the plan. That's been the plan now since I started. You know, get into the UFC and hammer lads, and I'll keep it as simple as that.
And is there any other particular in MTK at the moment, and obviously you're fighting in Dubai at the moment? Any particular opponent you have in mind, or you'd like to call out, or anyone like that?
No, I don't even know half of them, man. Like they all have Russian names and everything, like so I wouldn't even know how to read the name. I gave me a tweet on this lad I was fighting, and I spelled his name wrong and everything. Like, you know, I'm dyslexic as well, so they're not giving me a chance. They just told me I don't know how to do it, like, you know? So yeah, that's all good.
As the man said at one point, it's just the canvas, it's just the face.
There we go.
That's
it.
it.
You fight them anyway, like, so no worries.
But John, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you, and thanks very much for coming on this evening and to talk to us about your move to Dubai, about the fight, about Conor's fight coming up, UFC 264, come up this Saturday live on pay-per-view. John has predicted a third round stoppage for Conor McGregor against Dustin Poirier. Obviously, the lads from Against the Fence, they're saying they're a bit topsy-turvy. They're Conor, they're Dustin. For me, myself, just giving my official weekly armchair kickoff prediction, I'm going to say Conor within the first 2 minutes of round number one. I'm going to say Conor within the first 2 minutes of round number one, puts Dustin Poirier away. And we hopefully get to see Conor McGregor versus Charles Oliveira for that lightweight strap, and he can come home with the belt to Ireland and have that little homecoming, because that would be an absolute sensational thing. But thanks very much to John for coming on this evening. It's been an absolute pleasure. And John, as always, you're always welcome to come on for an interview at any time. And best luck with your ventures over in Dubai at the moment.
Cheers, lads. Thanks very much.
Nice. Cheers, John.
If you're in London, John, nice to meet you. If you're in London, hit us up.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Take care, John.